Hello, welcome in everybody. Hope you're doing well. So today we are going to be looking at the roadmap for DR games. What we've got coming up, and that will include 2D6 products, IST, Intergalactic Space Trader, Rad Zone, and one other game. And it's for 2024. So that's coming up. Let's just get everybody, let me get the chat up. And we'll just have a look here. Bear with me. Sorry if I missed you. Testing 1, 2, 3. Sorry if I missed you. Hi Mark, how are you doing? Good to see you. Yeah, so I didn't quite know what to put up on the holding screen here. So I've put this up. This is a little sign that we have printed for UK Games Expo. So anybody there can scan and have a look at the site. And so I thought I'd just put it there. And it does work. I've double checked. It takes you to our website. And yeah, so we're going to talk a little bit about all the things that are coming up. Now that we've got 2D6 Realm in the into the testing phase. Tex, what's cracking? Lots. We're going to be talking about ideas and how we're going to move forward this year. Brian, good to see you. And we'll wait until everybody's in, till we've got matriculated a few people in. Klaus, yay, I made it to a live stream. Good to have you here, my friend. Yeah. It's we're not strictly talking directly about 2D6 Realm today. We're talking about a range of things. So, Kirill, good evening. Good to have you here. That's Teacher Talk. Hopefully I've dropped the whole Teacher Talk lark. Matriculated. Actually, I said that. It's a reference to Matt Colville. He always says it. Yes. How's everybody doing? Any news? So I guess we could sort of briefly start with that. I was just saying, 2D6 Realm is in testing at the moment. So we've got all the lovely guys. Had a busy week, so not being able to do any more testing. Brian says, well, we've still got... I've said that I'm going to start corrections next week. It's probably going to be the end of next week now. Nick, good to see you, my friend. And, yeah. So I've had back a fair few sheets of corrections. So we're at that stage initially where you get a lot of kind of feedback about, hey Stefan, good to see you, my friend. We get a lot of corrections and comments about maybe a few errors and typos, and I've got like I've got about 10 separate sheets of corrections, and then I've got a couple of versions where, like Clive, for example, has gone through it all. Jeff has gone through most of it. And yeah, and then we've got some other people that have gone through lots. So there will be a point where next week I sit down and I just basically go through all these corrections and add them in and sort that out. There's one or two entries that I didn't quite finish for some reason. But then, once that's done, by that time, hopefully people will be sending back some more comments about the playing the game, and if I feel I need to make any alterations, I will. And then I can release it maybe broader. We'll have a look. I'll set it back and have a look at it, and then I will put it into. I will format it. I will do the graphic design and put it into the book, the layout, and we will have a more viable product. Now, part of that will be slimming it down a little bit, so that might take a little bit longer. Daniel, good to see you. And I will be kind of playing around with that and seeing how it fits into the book. But anyway, we'll go in a bit more into the times of that in a minute once we get just a few more people in. And yeah, so exciting times. In the meantime, I've been working on a couple of the mini layers this week. So I've finished off Long Barrow, and I'm just nearly finished the mine shaft. So these are little locations you can find within the landscape, and you can go in and you explore like 5 rooms, maybe of 5 levels of a mine shaft, and you come out with some treasure, and you might build another building or buy some armor or start on your fabled weapon. You know, it's or maybe look at completing some quests or something like that. So, you know, Scott, good to see you. There's going to be some news today about Rad Zone as well. We're going to look at Rad Zone, IST, have a talk about that. We're also going to have a look, mention the new skirmish game that we're looking at doing. We're maybe even looking at doing some miniatures. So we'll see how that goes. Jeff, good to see you, my friend. How are you doing? I really appreciate the work you've done this week as well on that text. I know it's hard going through a big document like that, but I will be hoping to slim that down as well. So, and so we're just going to have a look at what my hopes and dreams are for this year, and that will naturally lead into next year as well. I was curious about Rad Zone. 2600 was my first experience of DR games. Kirill, it was, first game was Dark Force Incursion, and then we did War Within RPG, and then which was a game that I used to use as a tool at school, and I adapted it to I love that one, Scott. Nice. Good. I might have to pop in and out, but mostly here. Fantastic, Jeff. And then and then I did Rad Zone. And then there might be some things in between these. Then I did Rad Zone Totality, which was the kind of expanded version of Rad Zone. And then we've had 2D6 Dungeon over a period of a few years. And then we're pushing on with some other bits and pieces. So we're nearly there. I'll start in a minute. We'll go through this document. We've got some bits to look at. I've got a little banner here, this blue banner that I'll move up and down, just because it stops people sort of reading ahead. Drop pods, yes. And then, so we had drop pods, which I do forget sometimes. And Drop Pods is one of these games I created, which was very much really needed to be a board game. There was too much expectation on the stuff to be printed out for that game. Really pleased with the rule set and how that all worked. And Trade Nation has also been a big love affair of mine, and that is something that is going to be added. I'm going to be doing some more work with Trade Nation. So there's Trade Nation is a card game, I've been working on that for a few years now. That actually came before, I think. I've got to look at, maybe put a timeline together. even though I haven't had enough time to play a lot. A Rad Zone is the forerunner to 2D6 Dungeon, if you like. It's a tables-based system, and I took a lot of inspiration from that to put into 2D6 Dungeon. Although 2D6 Dungeon inspiration there's a lot of that is through my early experiences of Dungeons and Dragons and fighting fantasy and stuff like that. Nick, you've done a lot of work, so I'll send you through a copy. Don't you worry about it. I have your D&D modules too. I plan to adapt them to Dragonbane when I finally get a chance to play that one. Yes. So I still do some D&D supplements as well. So I'm a busy chap, but they're very much to the side of what I do. Originally, they helped me set this business up, but you know the way it is, trends and stuff like that. D&D, the shift in D&D, and the whole outlook of D&D was never something that I thought was going to be like the main thing. I always intentionally wanted to create my own games. That was the key. And through the map making, through some of those experiences as well, that's kind of fed into that. So yeah, it's kind of all come together really nicely. And the D&D supplements, the Infested Building series and the Morley adventures are there in the background. And we just fulfilled actually the Minotaur Labyrinth, which was which is separate. I didn't really want to talk about it today so much because we're talking about DR games, which is, they all come under the Dark Realm umbrella. So there's the role play, the games, and then there's the maps. And really the focus is the games, but we've had success with the maps and the role play as well. And you can see this is the Minotaur Labyrinth. This is something that that's the 4th book in the series. So yeah, they're all, very pleased with how those do, but they kind of supplement, but they're not really what keeps the company going. 2D6 Dungeon does that, Rad Zone does that, and that's where I see myself being. Yes, there was a Kickstarter for the Minotaur one, Jeff, but that was a while ago now, so it wasn't recently. So anyway, good. We've got a goodly number in. So I think what we'll do is we will maybe have a look at May and see what we've got coming up here. So let me just move this banner down. So we've got, oh shoot, no, we don't do that. We're going to go here. Okay. Suddenly the reveal was revealed. So May, obviously we're 10 days, is it 10 days? 9 days into May. 2D6 Realm is gone into testing, as I was talking about earlier, and we have the corrections that will be made and the layout, but the aim is to try and get that finished for the end of May. So we've got 3 weeks, say, in that time. The testing's going to be going on, and I'm going to be correcting and trying to lay it out into the book. Now, I'll follow the same format, the same look, if you like, the same style as 2D6 Dungeon, and hopefully we can cram it in. The aim is to try and get it down to 200 pages. So that would be both the rulebook and the codex originally. This is 150 pages. The rulebook's about the rulebook's about 40 pages. So it's going to be one book with all that in, and that's what I'm trying to do. And it may be impossible, so we may have to come up with a solution somehow, because the printers we use only do books, only do spiral bounds, which are 200 pages long. Now, if we can't fit it into that, the spiral bound people will get, and it'll be most of it in one spiral bound, and then an additional spiral bound or something that goes with it. that'll be at no extra cost to you guys. It just be part of the package. It nowhere does spiral bounds more than 200 pages, because the spirals you usually get, you don't want them like massive. There's a sort of a normal kind of width to it, and we're going to have a nice black metal spiral bound that goes with the look of the book. So oh, Scott, but sorry I haven't had time to go through the testing docs, but I know you have other awesome people to cover for me. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, I do, but I'm fingers crossed that you'll be able to spend some time with it at some point, Scott, because I really highly value your opinion on these things. So once we've got it a bit more solid, then I'm going to pin you down. So we've also, this month, we've had the Intergalactic Space Trader Update 1.4. Now, that, if you're not aware, is live on Drive Through and itch.io. Now you can go in there and re-download those files if you've bought them on those platforms. As yet, there is no print copies. There are no print copies of IST. You still have to print it out. But that is something that we're going to start throwing out there, because there's a bit more news about IST further down, and you'll see. But we are thinking about it. But with 1.5. Oh, not 6, 1.5. Okay, so 1.5, what I've done with 1.5 is I've added a little bit more variability. So you can now, there are now 10 traits that the customs official can have rather than 8. Adds a bit more. The main dice table in the planet guide, okay, now uses a D10, is a D10 rather than a D8, okay, and all the tables, the custom checks for the are now 1 to 10 rather than 1 to 8. So you've either got 1 or 2 more options on all of the tables, which gives a little bit more kind of playability. That's what I was looking for. A bit more playability. I've also added in a new environmental condition for planets that you generate. So we have got ideal conditions on a planet now. So it's stable weather, but ideal conditions is the next one up, and that does have an effect. We've also got, I think that's largely it. So there's more to it. The tables are slightly bigger, making the game just a bit richer, a bit more variability, a bit more playability, variance and replayability. Nate, that sounds fantastic. I'm glad you agree. So that is good to see you, by the way. And I apologise if I've missed anybody. Just stick your head up again and I'll try and spot you. So that is IST, the 1.5 update in May. Now we've got another update coming, which I will talk about when we get to. Now, at the end of May, we have the UK Games Expo, which is on the 31st of May to the 2nd of June, as it says there. So it drifts into June. And we have a stall, a 4 metre by 2 metre stall in the main hall, hall 1, right in the middle. So what we're going to do is we're going to run some kind of giveaway thing. So anybody that is maybe on the stream, we're going to maybe the week before, we're going to have a password that you can come and say to me in the in the conference if you come, and that password I will give you a gift. It will be a gift that you get. So I'm sorry for all those people who aren't going to be there. I feel sorry for that. Sorry for you guys. It's a flipping awesome event, and we're very excited for it. We're having a special dungeon stand. My brother, who is a skilled modeler, he's creating a stone wall, if you like, or facade that has 2d6 cut into the stone. It's going to look absolutely stunning, and I cannot wait. Very excited for UK Games Expo. I plan to stop by for some hardcover books, even though I have the softbacks. Nice, Kirill, very good. You'll have to introduce yourself, because obviously people's handles on Twitch are going to be different, or YouTube are going to be different, and then to real life generally. Yeah, there's a secret word, handshake, and you've got to do like a dance. Scott's like, I'm hoping the password is free plane ticket. I know. Sorry about that. Oh, it must be so hard over there in that lovely country that you find yourself in. Frank says, secret phrase, I'll need a mana potion for my cat with a special handshake. Definitely. We'll have little free gifts, and we'll probably give them away in the last day if we don't give them out. But there will be a little free prize that we have. It'll probably be 2d6 related, I should imagine. We'll see. Which will be fantastic. Kirill says, hey, Thick of Spain, big fan of your channel and style. Followed a lot of your content with excitement. Yeah, get in there. Check out Scott's channel, as his name is in the chat there. Nate. A bit too far for me, but I'm sure it will be awesome. Yeah, it will be. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do some broadcasts from the conference onto the YouTube channel. I did one last year, but I'll probably do it a bit better this year. Nate says something. Good day to you, living on the pimple of the anus of life, good sir. Nice. Stefan, will you make live stream during UK? Yes, I will, Stefan. I will. We'll do a little stand tour to show you the awesome 2d6 banner, show you the setup, and then we might do maybe some walk around the conference, maybe to a couple of stands that I feel particularly relevant to our sort of content. So maybe some solo stuff. Maybe we'll chat to somebody. We'll see. We'll definitely get some coverage across on the channel, which will be nice. Scott has put up some love hearts. Wouldn't that be funny if suddenly a ticket turned up at your door? All right, what have we got here? Let's have a little look. Bear with me. Is there anything else underneath there? No. Right, I'm going to do this very carefully. All right. Okay, so generally planning to take my 2d6 dungeon for night delving in my hotel. Fantastic. Find map drawing relaxing, which is always needed after the convention atmosphere. Awesome. Bring them to show me if you come back the next day. That'd be fantastic. Maybe we'll put up some. Maybe there'll be some. I don't know. Maybe we'll do a best map in shown or something. I don't know. I need to have a little think about it. If anybody has any ideas, then let me know. Be awesome. Stefan, I think I have to get some new oars and a boat to get me over the water. From Gothenburg. Yeah, I need to get over your way, I think, for Essen. That'll be cool. I'd like to do that. So June. So that's May. So it's all about testing, me doing the corrections, the layout. Okay, and then at the end we've got the expo. We've already had the update to IST, which is fantastic. So we've got June. So going into June, we're finalising and testing. So we've got like a period of time where I'm going to be like, is this game exciting and nice to play? And we'll maybe pull a few more people in for some play testing. And we'll have a more presentable book to give to some other folks who can have a look at it, and we'll get some feedback and sort of nail it down. And then sort of halfway through June, we will be looking at maybe nailing it down and printing. So the printing will vary. So there's a number of products. There's spiral bound, there's faux leather, there's paperback, and we get those come back at different pace. So we get the paperbacks first, even though we sent off the other hardback stuff. It takes longer, and then we will start sending stuff out immediately as soon as it comes back to us. So people with paperback will just get theirs first, which makes perfect sense. Unfortunately, that's just the way of the world. Hardbacks then will go out, and then faux and cards take quite a while. So it will be, as you'll see in July, the posting will kind of lap over June to July. So there's going to be like a 6-week period of posting stuff out. There's not a lot I can do about it. It's just that things take a long time to print. You'll be glad to know that we're getting the dice. The dice are at customs, so we should be getting those soon, and I'll be able to show you those. They look amazing. So although I really shouldn't pick it up too much, they look. I'm pleased. Put it that way. So they're on the way, and we're very excited about getting hold on some 2d6 dungeon dice. So that's really cool. We're going to be doing that. What have we got here? Maybe some 2d6 realm map test maps in your display. Definitely think that's a good idea, Jeff. That's a good idea. There's some such good maps. We should just print out and have like a panel full of maps of these glorious maps that people have done. Just don't bring axes or swords, Stefan. Might bring back bad memories over there. June. Sorry, lol. Wait, dice. Yes, dice. We've got the had to step away. Come back and hearing about dice. Yes, the 2d6 dungeon dice. They were on they're 2d6. They were part of the realm, but they're really 2d6 dungeon, because 2d6 realm is an expansion of 2d6 dungeon, as we know. And yeah, we've had some stuff. We've had some stuff. Stefan and Klaus are having a little discussion there. Yes. Oh man, come on, Nick, you must know about the dice. So yeah, so they will be with us hopefully in the next week or two. I want to be able to have some for the conference, because we've ordered 1,000 sets. I think we've had like 300 orders, and we're going to put them on the website, and we're going to have them selling at the UK Games Expo. So, and then, you know, as I say on the site, so you better get hold of a pair. And Nick, if you haven't ordered them, I think all the work you do, I will just. I will just send you over a copy, unless you've ordered some. I'll send you over some. No problemo. All right. So there's right. Let's just roll this down here. What have we got? Right. Okay. June. What else have we got in June? Let's have a look. Oh yes. we have in June. Can I update my order? Nate, you can. Yeah, just send Joe an email. Joe at drgames.co.uk. And that's JO at. Yeah, I think you did order. Including some extra bookmarks and, of course, faux leather to complete my collection. Fantastic, Nick. I'll double check you've got dice, and if you had, I'll put them in. You don't have to worry. Fantastic. So we have a period. So as you can imagine, I've been saturated with 2D6 Dungeon over the last, which I've loved, and 2D6 Realm. It's been a dream. I've really enjoyed doing it. Thanks, Nick. It's time, once this is finished and completed and we've sent it out, I'm going to have a little break from 2D6 Dungeon. And in that space, I'm doing a skirmish game. So it's going to be a figure-based game, and I'm not going to give a lot away about it at the moment because really I don't want to take the focus away from 2D6 Realm because that's where we're looking at the moment, and IST with some updates there. But this is going to be kind of like a universal type game that I'm keen to work on, and to be honest, I've written 70% of the rules, and just because it's a nice kind of, I do it kind of, I do like maybe 5 hours of 2D6 Dungeon, then I might do an hour of the skirmish game, and we're going to do sort of like a big announcement of it soon. So I'm going to do like the, I've got the name, I know the kind of ideas behind it and what we're trying to achieve, and so that is going to be something that we then start testing. So there's a few people, Scott, people who play skirmish games. I'm gonna tap you up with some information, see whether you'd be interested in. See if you see those some people who are interested. So there's a couple of people that do YouTube channels that I know, and hopefully they will be interested in having a look. How many figures aside are we talking about? That's a really good question, and it's not going to be a battle, it's just a skirmish. So the game is going to basically have squads of 4 figures, and that's about as much as I really want to give over. So it's going up in 4, 8, 12, and at the moment that it's looking at maybe 12 is the maximum we're looking at, because each one has its own info. So, and there's some stuff to manage obviously, but it's I'm trying to present something different on the skirmish scene. We'll just have to see. Yeah, Nate. I've never played it, but I've seen it. I like Blood Bowl, for example. 2 teams going at each other. You know, haven't played anything with miniatures since Disc Wars and Mage Knight. Cool. My favourite level of skirmish, Klaus says. I'm not too familiar with skirmish games, but am interested too. Can give you a perspective from someone who's exactly Jeff. So it's really exciting. I've got some really what I think are cool ideas to bring something new. Hopefully, that's what I want to try and do. And I know that's quite an arrogant thing to say, but as a designer, it's what you want to do. It's what you hope for. So I've got some really kind of interesting ideas, I feel, and we're gonna bring those together, and hopefully some of you guys are gonna be able to test it, and we'll see whether it works. You know, that's good to hear, Jeff. I think that with the company, with DR Games, I don't just want to say stick to solo player games, but this skirmish game is primarily designed so that solo player people can play it. Now, having said that, you can play it 2-player, but the mechanic is, the way that I'm designing it is from a solo point of view, and the rules that I'm creating are designed to include an AI that I'm trying to get to be as close to playing with another person, but you're not. So that's what I'm working at. So it converts really nicely to 2-player, but you can play it solo, and that's where I want to take it. I want a solo player skirmish game that is going to be really real and offer something that isn't just a 2-player game adapted to be solo. I'm designing it as a solo player game that can be played as a 2-player game. Yes, traveling with Todd. Ooh, nice. I just received all my 2D books today in the mail yesterday. Loving it so far. Thank you, Todd. Appreciate that. Good to have you in. Klaus, more solo mini games are always welcome, especially when the solo part is built in from the beginning. Exactly. So it's because, I want to play just a solo player skirmish game. I just want to sit down, have my teams, and then just play. Sounds interesting. It would be something other than fantasy or sci-fi. It's a universal system, so it can be used for sci-fi, fantasy, anything. So that is kind of like it's a combination. But I'm going to offer up additional stuff that provides setting or well, we'll see. There's other stuff coming, and I've got to look at the costing and how that all works out, and we'll just see. I would like to do some figures, some minis for the game, and I'm getting some quotes for that at the moment to see, but it just may be too expensive. We'll just have to see. Setting plugins and campaigns, perhaps. Exactly, Scott. I'd be interested once we've done the announcement. I'll be really interested to get your ideas and feedback, Scott, because you're really experienced in this area. And anybody else who wants to offer it, I'm always listening and kind of learning from people. I seriously do not do as much miniature gaming as I'd like. The miniature gaming I've done a huge amount of fantasy, Warhammer Fantasy Battle, fair amount of 40k. I've done Dark Future. I've done Blood Bowl. I've done. I did some Bolt Action. I've played Flames of War extensively. I like the Second World War setting stuff. So, I'm bringing in. I'm not an expert on miniatures, but I definitely have quite a vast experience of this type of thing, and I'm kind of coming at it from a slightly different angle as well. Creativity only breeds jealousy in those who can't, but we appreciate all that you do. Oh, Nate. Well, no need for the jealousy. Let's just say it's just, just join in for the ride. That's the way I look at it, So there you go. That is going to be there's going to be testing in June. So there will be. I should put up here in this announcing because the skirmish game. I'll give more details in May, and then we'll start to do some testing in June. Okay, so the next one we've got is we have the Galaxy Index expansion for IST, or Intergalactic Space Trader, and that is going to be probably released in late June. Now, this is something that Jeff has been helping me with generating planets. This is going to basically be an expansion for IST. Now, it sits alongside it. Okay. I see. Everyone here is creative. Exactly. You know, and that's the wonderful thing about it. It's like we're all sharing stuff, aren't we? So, so one of the things that IST, so the Galaxy Index expansion, is basically going to be a book of 100 planets or more that have all been pre-generated. Okay, and they're all connected on a map. Okay, so it's adding in, it's bringing in an optional galaxy narrative. Okay, so you have pathways to these different planets, and you can only follow these routes through the gates. And the reason is you are going to have diplomats, quests that take you to these different worlds, and so you'll be following, rather than necessarily just trading for upgrading your ship, say for example, you'll be following missions and quests. So getting a diplomat from one planet to another, but that planet may be quite far down the line in the Galaxy Index, and you may have to trade your way along until you can get there. So we're mixing trading with narrative, and that is going to be going into IST, and bringing in a kind of story and more driver, more content. And for this, because the Galaxy Index is kind of the framework for it, you get some like kind of little tests in there. It means that I can produce more content for IST, other quests, other diplomats that appear at different. Nate says ironcladish. No, not really. This is all elite. This is all comes from elite. I haven't played Ironclad. I don't really know anything about it. I didn't know that they did missions or quests in it. But it is to do with it's the old diplomat quests you get. You could pick up a diplomat in the Elite Frontier and take them somewhere, and other space games that I played like that on computers, admittedly. So this is going to be not board game related. This very much comes from being inspired by Elite, the space trading game, and this is going to be an important part of it. And you never know, in the future there may well be a Space Pirates or a new space combat system which might be then tagged on to IST. There's going to be cool. Daniel says, cool, great work on new IST stuff, you two. Yeah, Jeff has been fantastic helping me out with that. We've still got it. We're about 70, 75 planets done. We do a bit here and there. I haven't been able to do it this week, but I'll definitely do some next week, because I did the 1.5 update, which kind of gives it more basis, more options for us to base it in. So that 1.5 really was in preparation for the Galaxy Index expansion. So that's exciting. So we're developing that one. So really pleased. Right. So we're going into July. So what have we got first? Oh yes, 2d6 Realm. So as I said before, we're continuing to post out Space Gym Lad. Nate, got to get them military lasers on all sides. Played the polygon version way back when. Exactly. Yeah, there was. I can't remember now. I can't remember the weapons that you used to get, but you used to upgrade your ship and it would come with better weapons. So we continue to saying the posting of 2d6 Realm is going to take a while. We've got a really smooth operation here, and we've had some massively good feedback about our postage, and we will carry on with that high quality of wrapping and posting and we'll get that all out, and we can deal with anything directly here. We don't have a distributor to do all that. We do it ourselves. We like to be in control of that. So we have in June we will have tested the skirmish game, and we will then be releasing a free version of the skirmish game. Now that'll be like 80% of the rules, and then there might be some other stuff held back. Now why might I hold that back? Because we're going to kickstart the skirmish game in July. Okay, so at this point we're still posting activities around, but as I say, mentally I'm having a break from the table writing that goes into 2d6 realm, and which is pretty intense, but it will be getting me ready. And this is a very different thing, doing the Kickstarter for the skirmish game. And by that point we'll know whether there's going to be a set of specific characters or unusual miniatures. We're looking at maybe doing some little land land props. My brain is a bit tired. Land obstacles, maybe bits of rock or something like that you can get in packs. I've got someone who may do something like that for me, handmade stuff rather than necessarily printed stuff. We may just look at providing the digital files for printing. I was watching Scott do some of his printing fairly recently, so there might be those. What are those called? What are those files called again? The print files? SMLs? No. What are they called? The files that you print 3D. 28mm, or you're going to go epic scale? It doesn't matter. STLs. Thank you. Yes. No, it's normal 28mm. It doesn't really matter actually, because I probably have a little adapter in there. You can adapt the ranges. You can play it really small, I guess. I hadn't thought about that. I'm just using normal figure size 28mm at the moment, so that's kind of where we're at with it. And then yeah, so we're going to kickstart that, and that's going to be exciting. You see, as a company, it's definitely a nice thing to have other products, and we want to try and get those out, and see how it goes. I'm really excited about this system. And then what we got after this? Oh yes, July. We have the Rad Zone Totality expansion. Now this is earmarked for this month. It may slip into August, depending on how we do. But this is going to be a printed product. It's going to be like the other expansions we have. We have a guest writer who I'm going to reveal nearer the time. So they are basically about 15 to 20 pages. They are a physical product. We got a science lab, and we got the exhibition centre, and we've got another one. It's going to be like the underground something or other. We will have that there. Totally rad. So, and with these you get, so there'll be a big map in the middle, and then you get some blurb at the front. There'll be one or two new rules, and some more tables. So keeping that alive in preparation at some point for a RPG based in that world. And there may well be some fleshing out of the world with some additional online content potentially. Sweet. Just had my Totality box down the other day. Fantastic. That's good to hear. Yeah, it's a game that lives on, and it also is a game that I just am very proud of, and I love being in that world. And it's great to see the interest in 2D6 has rekindled people's interest in Radzone, or they become aware of it. And as it's growing as a game again, it's still growing. Sometimes you launch a game, it's popular, and it can go quiet. But with Radzone, it just simmers along, and we're really pleased with that. And we sell them every month, and yeah, it has been. We just really pleased. Okay, right. Let's move on from there. So I've combined, as we move further away from our current location, it becomes a little bit more unclear about exactly what month things are going to fall in. But this is as close as I can hopefully get it. So we've got... so hopefully, August, September, we complete and post the skirmish game. Posting the skirmish game, the book itself is going to be not a big issue to do. Let me just... Kirill just has put a question. Do your Radzone physical products come with PDFs? Like, yes, they do. All our physical products do. So, yes, is the answer. So, we will want to complete and then post. So, we'll complete the game because it will be largely complete, because we want the game to be the rules to be largely free. I think that's how people do it these days, and I did it with 2D6 Dungeon and other products that I've done. So it will be out there, and hopefully people will be playing it and be interested in it, and then we can print it. The book itself won't be much to print. Hey Vic, good to see you. And we've got we will hopefully then post it September, maybe before then, but it does depend on whether we do figures, miniatures, and what's included in the pack, because it may be that we need to order figures, and they may take a couple of months to come, so we'll have to see. But that's kind of like where we want to be. Thank you, Nate. Good night. Working in the morning. No problem, my friend. You take care. Catch up with you soon. So, we've got completing the skirmish game. And then 7th of September, it's Fighting Fantasy Fest. I thought I'd just put that up there. We haven't got a stall. We haven't got a stall in that particular event. But I will be there. And there's every chance that I might talk to some people about 2D6 Dungeon and Realm. And if you're going and you see me, say hello. It's a bit of a niche event. Obviously, lovers of Fighting Fantasy, Sir Ian Livingstone will be there. I don't think Steve Jackson's going to be there. I do wonder whether he's under the weather. I'm not sure. Usually he is. Where is it? That is a good question. It is in London. So all the ones I'm going to, unless in September, for some reason, we have a good reason to go over to Gen Con. If we did get any nominated, then maybe we might do it. But we have to. We're no way any nominated yet. And I feel like every time I say it, I'm just cursing our luck. It would be great, but who knows? Next year we could definitely be going to Gen Con. I think Gen Con's in September, and we would then go across to Gen Con and meet up with some people. Lord Gwydion How you doing, Alan? Had to pop in, meeting a colleague for a pint and some work, but had to say hi. Good to see you. Hope you're well. Jason's here as well. I just caught the schedule. Yes. Well, you'll have to watch it back. We've already gone through a few months, so hope you're well, Jason. So Fight Fantasy Fest. If you're there, say hello. And no problem. It's like a one-day event in London. Pretty limited tickets, but I go with my brother, one of my brothers, and we quite enjoy it. It's a bit reminiscing. It's quite nice to hear people talk design. You get to meet some of the artists, and there's some interesting talks about gaming sometimes, which is always fascinating. So really worth going, even if you're not just a Fight and Fantasy fan. And they also have stalls and stuff like that. So enough about that. I put that on there anyway. And then we have, what have we got? Oh, let me just go down a little bit here. So we have Norcon. Norcon is in Norwich, in England. It's the 28th to 29th of September. And we will be there. We have a stand for 2 days. They do a variety of popular culture stuff. So there's a few stalls that sell their own products. I thought we'd give it a go. I go anyway. I always quite enjoy it. So I thought, why not have a stand there this year? We may well have... we'll obviously have the books and our games. And I think it will fit in. So it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. But I thought it'd be fun. It's fairly inexpensive. I know, Jeff, England again. I think next year, the problem is all my stock and produce is over here. All my products, I should say, is over here. And to get it across to America is always going to be a tricky one. If we go to America, it would generally be as just to visit, I think, at the moment. We'll just see. For sure, I'm looking forward to seeing what DR Games has planned. Wish I could go to those cons. Yeah. Well, we may well do cons. We may well look at doing Essen next year. I don't know. We'll see. See how it goes. See what it does depend what happens each year, doesn't it? Really. All right. Let me just see if I can move this up. I don't think I can. So that's exciting. We have a stall. Oh. And then, we can't see the bottom bit. Let me just see if I can move this up a little bit. I don't think I can. Oh, here we go. That's better. And then October, November, December, we're back on the 2D6 Legendary Dungeon track. Okay, so we're back on 2D6. We will have that summer period where we've done the skirmish game and the cons, and then back into winter. We're going to be doing. Thanks, guys. We are doing 2D6 Legendary Dungeon. So the plan is to kickstart it in October, and then over the couple of months that proceed, we will then release one level or two levels at a time for people who backed it. So like we did with the original 2D6 dungeon, and we will be dishing up some kick-ass legendary dungeon stuff. So it's going to be bigger monsters, different sorts of dungeons, lots more tables, and I'll dive back in refreshed, having done the skirmish game through the summer period, and then we're into winter with some more tables, and we will have another nice thick book of tables and creatures. So yeah, excited about that's kind of where we're heading. So yeah, that is what it's looking like. It's all leading up to that. So I won't go over it all again. Excuse me. So basically, we have finishing 2d6 dungeon. We've got some IST. We've got a little bit of Rad Zone thrown in there. We've got a couple of conferences. We've got the skirmish game, with the name for which we will announce soon with a bit more detail, and then we will be doing Legendary Dungeon at the end of the year, and that will then set us nicely up. We'll have the 3 versions. We'll have Dungeon, Realm, and Legendary Dungeon, and that will kind of like be a fine set to own and have. There's tons of content there. You're going from the dungeon over land and then into the final, the kind of the big dungeon. And then that will lead then into 2025, when we will look to do 2 more 2d6 dungeon products in that year. In 2025, we will be doing 2d6 Void, the science fiction version, and then we will be doing 2d6 Goblinoid Ancestry. So those 2 products will be the following year. As I've talked about that before, but that will be something quite different. Dan, how you doing? Dan saying hello from Southern California. How are you doing, my friend? Good to see you. I think Jeff's in California. Is that right, Jeff? I think Jeff is. So yeah, exciting times ahead, and we'll be feeding we'll be supporting all of our games. We do a Dark Force Incursion Patron, which I try and put up a map a month, additional stuff. So all the games are being supported. War Within I haven't done a lot with, and but I do plan to do a second edition of War Within at some point. And Drop Pods, I'm playing around with the thought of making that into a board game. So that's something to come in the future. Years down the line, you will have 2d6 Kingdom, where you combine all your realms you have played under a single banner and have skirmishes with other kingdoms. I would like to incorporate the kind of the realm, fighting other realms into 2d6 Realm at some point, but that's kind of, it's a bit far off at the moment. So potentially, Nick, we'll see. Jason, shout out social. Matthew, how are you doing? Good evening. Coming in late. Good to join in. We'll have to watch the video later. Yes, Matthew, we've basically gone over the timeline for 2024. It's all in the video, and including conferences and stuff like that. So really excited and pleased with how it's all gone on with it. Your awesome support, guys, has made this all possible. It's that simple. If you guys hadn't supported the Kickstarters, then none of this would be happening. I'd be scrabbling around wondering what to do with myself. I'd still be doing this stuff. It'd just take a lot longer, but it wouldn't be. It wouldn't have any sort of fruition. It wouldn't appear. It wouldn't appear like it is now. So awesome stuff. So if anybody's got any questions about that or any inquiries, now's the time. and I can't give too much away about the skirmish game at the moment, but I will do an announcement very soon, and we will and then maybe we'll do a stream where I discuss what's been going on. I'll show you what came for me the other day. My mothership box came. I backed the Kickstarter, and it's taken ages and ages and ages. Blimey. Dice, no way as good as the 2d6 dungeon dice. They got little they got standees. That's one to think about. Standees, maybe standees. Card sets for the new 2d6 content planned too. Oh yes, Ditsy Bunny. Nice paper on the mothership, but I would say it's just stapled. That's pretty cheap to do. The paper itself is okay quality. Doesn't feel like anything special. Not to say the contents aren't special, but I was hoping maybe for slightly better quality. So yes, did see new cards. There'll be more event cards with Legendary Dungeon as well. There'll be... The event cards aren't going to feature two. Rustic Reflection. Hello Toby, Greg here. Have you ever mentioned or considered expansion plan for monsters in the 2d6 dungeon realm or legendary in the future? Or considered expansion pack for monsters? You mean just like a pack of extra monsters? Is that what you mean? Definitely have. We're looking at that. I've got a few ideas on that front. So you mustn't forget that cards are really expensive to print. They're really expensive. So the problem is, if I do a product and I'm like £20 for a pack of cards, people are going to be like, that's expensive. But they are expensive to print. Or £15, people are still like, oh, you know, because that's like... So it's a tricky one. But the card's always a difficult one to cover. I heard Kirill says I heard of Mothership and hope one day to find it at retail. Yeah, you'll be lucky. I hope so. You better pick it up at UK Games Expo. I would love to do some more monster cards. I do the occasional one-off monster card. There is an exclusive Frost Gremlin card. That's a rare card. Only a few people have that card, and that was part of a thank you to some of the people, to all the people that helped. And if you were a tester, you didn't get one of those, let me know. I've got to pop out for a few minutes. Okay, Jeff. We'll catch up soon. Standees in grayscale, giving people the option to colour them in if playing with family. Is that's like kind of, you kind of thinking like an idea for the skirmish game? Is that, Kirill? Is that what you're putting down there? Yeah. I mean, there are options, definitely. yeah. So no, I think that's been productive today. So we've got yeah, I think that's pretty much what we need to cover today. I don't think there's unless anybody's got any questions, as I was saying, but it doesn't look like anything else. So hopefully that all made sense and people are excited about what we've got coming. And you can see how I try and support the games as much as I can. So if you're invested in a game, you can be still, because we will still be bringing content to that product. So that's all very exciting. Realm is coming with some new monsters, so I figure Legendary would too. Yes. Jeff said, yeah. So Legendary is going to have its own pack of monsters. And last year we did do a Haunted House expansion for Halloween. So there may be something more with that. Maybe we might do some other bits and pieces for that. So we'll just have to see. And that hasn't been put on there. But it could be that November we have a little something Halloween-y, because I love Halloween. So we'll see. Maybe even something Christmassy. I don't know. There is scope. There's room for extras, I think. Although we've got a pretty intense lineup. So yeah, brilliant. Okay, guys. I think we're gonna call it there. And next week I'll be on Thursday again, and I'm going to be, hopefully, fingers crossed, I will be doing some more testing on 2D6 Realm, and we'll do a bit more play on that. And if not on the Realm itself, it'll be in one of the mini layers that you can explore when you're in the landscape, so to speak. Maybe we'll look at doing some building. Maybe I'll give a bit more gold to to my character, and we'll just see Cornelius, and we'll just see how he develops. So, because he survived the thicket. What was it called before? The Wicked Thicket. No, something. All right, guys. I will catch up with you soon. You take care. Thanks again for being here. It's really good for me to be able to see these comments and hear people's thoughts. And if you do have any thoughts that you want to share with me that you didn't want to put in the chat, then please do send them to me. It's toby@drgames.co.uk, and there I will answer them. I try and answer everything, and of course the Facebook group is just amazing, and it's just, the Facebook blows me away every day, seeing people's maps and people's comments and questions. It's fantastic. Awesome stuff. Thanks, Toby. Anything by DR Games has a special space on my shelf. Oh, Rustic Reflection, that's very kind of you. Thank you. Bye, Scott. Bye, Stefan. Keep up the good work. You keep up the good work as well, my friend. And I will catch up with everybody very soon. Guys, have a lovely weekend.